Welcome, guys, to this week's episode of Heavy Metal Tones with me, your podcast host, Tony Evans. This week is a recording I just did with Michael Lueders from Metal Roos, the founding member of the Webzine and many other things, connecting with wonderful heavy metal that we love to listen to. You might find some of this stuff really interesting. I hope you do. I did. He's a personal inspiration to me, and without him, I would not be doing this podcast now, most likely. So sit back, settle down, and enjoy the chat between me and Mike. And I hope you, hope you enjoy it. Bye, guys. Here speaking via the magic of the internet with Michael Lueders, sorry, I pronounced it again, from Metal Roos and Black Roos, a good friend of mine, and a real inspiration to all of us in the music scene, particularly the metal music scene here in Australia. I'd like to introduce you to Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hey, thanks, Tony, and thanks for having me.
Great, it's great. Those that don't know Michael's work, when did you come to Australia?
I arrived 2009, June 2009.
From Germany, am I right? That's correct?
I'm originally from Germany, but I was living before in Ireland.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's an interesting journey for you. So Germany, Ireland, Australia.
Yes, correct.
Wow, okay. And which part of Germany are you originally from?
In the center, like, the Middle Mountain Range,
yes.
Where Brunswick is from. Brunswick is the closest city. And I'm actually born in a city, sorry for interrupting you.
That's right.
Jägermeister, Wolfenbüttel.
Ah, there, yes. I've had a fair few of those in my time, yes.
Yeah, it's like mother milk for me.
Yeah. The reason I'm bringing it up is that obviously, as the listeners can hear, you have a German accent.
Yes, I was already 31 when I come here.
Yeah, exactly right. And so English was not your first language. It's not your first language.
Oh.
Right. Okay. And you've come into the country, and you've over time have set up this amazing musical network, which I really am proud of being part of. Full of review teams, photographers, live acts, touch points all over the metal and heavy rock scene across the country, and I think even globally. How did you come across that idea? What brought you to that idea?
Oh, with Metal Roos, I started 2013. We launched, but I planned it already before. But originally, Metal Roos was planned just as a fan club. In Europe, we're having the fan clubs where you have a back patch.
Yeah.
Put it on your. I mean, I have it for my soccer team.
Yeah.
And I was like, this could be a cool idea. I do the fan club, and actually, I done the wordplay Soccer Roos. I done Metal Roos. So I got it from the Australian national team.
From? I like it.
Yeah, exactly. From Soccer Roos. And then I was like, okay, I do the big red kangaroo as a logo. It should be James Hetfield if people recognize it. The artist copied him. And the idea was actually that because I didn't know anybody here and didn't know how big the metal scene is in Australia, I had no idea. And I was thinking if I built this fan club and then talking to people, find people at gigs, there must be more lonely people like me. And then we catching up once a month, talking about new releases, going together to a concert, and making new friends. And I think the idea was good, but it didn't work out.
No, but you did. I think maybe not on the level that you thought you did, but I would say now, interesting, if you were to look back, the amount of people you know due to your work with Metal Roos.
Oh yeah.
So I think you had an analog idea, but you implemented it in a digital world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this took off in a different direction. I mean, it is great, and I'm thankful for all the friends. I mean, we met over this. Otherwise, we may never run across because you live in a different city, and may we see us on a concert, but have no time to talk, or we say quick, oh, cool shirt, and then walk past. But now we actually regular on a phone chat. I mean, we know a little bit about our private lives, and I'm glad and happy to have you, for example, part in my journey.
Yeah, and I think that's what was amazing. I came across you by another touch point, someone who was doing photography for you, just said, hey, you think you'd like to do some reviewing? And I'd always wanted to write. That was one of my goals in life, was to be a music journalist as well. Like I have learning difficulties, so for me it was a bit harder. And I was like, I really want to do this. And And then when I talked to you, you were like, hey, yeah, dude, wait, come on, try, have a go. And it was just, it opened new worlds to me, you know. I wouldn't be doing this podcast, I'm telling you now, if I wasn't doing the reviews for you before. So,
Thank you.
so for me, it's very important what you did for me, but I think what you do for the music community in general, particularly the underground and smaller Australian bands, I think that's your passion, isn't it?
Yeah, I really have to say I love it now, and it is, yeah, amazing to see. And I don't know, it's, for me, it's great to go in a small venue, having some beers with some people, even if it's sometimes sad to see not many people come, but then you see the band and, you know, there's so many talent here. It's for me like, wow, and then they're coming from stage, you can talk to them, and it's such
I feel that
a great night.
I feel the same way. That's why I like the places like the Basement and places like that, because, you know, the band comes off stage. It's a bit of the punk ethic, you know, where they're no longer these gods on stage. Yes, they are, because they're musical people, and we attain to be those people. And we dreamed with those people when they're on that stage. In my mind, I am Hetfield, or I am, you know what I mean. In your mind, they come off, and then suddenly they're just normal people. And you, particularly on the Australian scene, everyone seems to just get on with each other, which is a really beautiful thing, you know, here.
Yep.
You know. Yeah. Also, interestingly enough, I found with your working with your reviews is that you get some really interesting. I opened my eyes to so much more beyond the boundaries I thought I'd listen to. Like there was stuff from Indonesia, from India, from Russia, and you know, things that just I would not normally. I would look, but I go, not sure. But when you go, I'm going to listen to this to actually intellectually appreciate it. Man, opens your mind. You know.
Yeah, I'm always fascinated, and really what social media or internet these days is doing is crazy. I mean, I'm on contact, or even like you and me now, I had phone calls with some guys in Venezuela, and we talked about some bands there on festival, and I'm like, this is unbelievable. Imagine this 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. You pinch yourself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, like talking to somebody in Venezuela, or the other day, I got a phone call from Angola in the morning, and I'm like,
wow,
what's this? And then it was not a spam. It was really a guy who was thinking to help out with Metal United Worldwide. And I'm like, this is really above my imagination I ever dreamed of, to be honest.
We'll get to Metal United later on, because that's a very fascinating and a very commendable thing you're doing there. But so Metal Roos, so if you were describing it to someone of my listeners that had never even knew what it was, what would you say? How would you describe what it is?
The Metal Roos these days is really an online web scene, but the main focus is still Australian based. So I really want to push Australian artists above the borders. And this, of course, we achieve with reviewing the latest Metallica album and Anvil or whoever comes. But yeah, it is an Australian based web scene.
Yeah, so I agree. We've had this conversation before, haven't we? You can draw in new readers to your magazine by the big marquee bands, because there's always going to have the big marquee acts.
Yep.
But what we want, I think, is what I want with this podcast as well, is I want people then to stay, have a delve, and open their minds, and then see the outside of their little constraints, and also to see the wonderful things that this country is producing in all genres, you know, in all the hard rock, punk, metal, all the crazy genres that are out there, you know. And we touch it in this country. We touch every point. Some of the craziest stuff I've ever heard comes from this country, you know.
Yeah, but really good bands, and yeah, I'm really happy that we cover a lot, and especially that we have so much underground bands. I mean, sometimes I'm a bit sad that we're missing, but there's so many releases that we can't cover them all. But I think we cover quite a good variety, and we're having like bands where I got like really somebody said to me like, oh, you're the guys, the only one who ever reviewed us and stuff. And that's like set at one point, but then we are on, or I'm honest, like, yeah, we appreciate even smaller bands and we give you a chance. So
I think that's true, you know, because I haven't recently because of family issues, but as people will know by listening to the podcast, but I try every Monday to filter through the reviews out, you know, the bands out of the review team, and gosh, honestly, the stuff that comes across the desk, it blows your mind. I look at it, I go, what is this? And then I have a listen and I go, oh my God, that's amazing. That's going into my listen pile.
Yes.
Because it doesn't seem to stop, Michael. You know, like it's like a roller coaster. Like it's like a tsunami. It never stops. You think, oh, there'll be a little quiet week this week. And then you look at the desk and there's 40 bands and you go,
yeah, exactly.
You know? And that just says to me that when people say, I've heard people say to me, oh, you know, metal's a dying genre, as a one horse pony, one trick pony. No, rubbish. Because if that was the case, I mean, I couldn't keep up with it. I still can't keep up with it. So, you know, it's crazy the amount of stuff coming through. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And bands keep going, and there are so many bands, even in the underground, too, still playing for 30 years on an underground level and still doing it with fun, enjoying it, and keep going.
If for people that don't know, that obviously the Australian continent is a very large continent, it's a very large country, and it's quite arduous and tricky to get around. Is there any particular state or territory that you like the music from? Is there you go, oh, it's from Newcastle, man, I love that scene, or Adelaide, I like that's. I don't want to put you on the spot and your other bands going, what?
Yeah.
But is there a particular one where you go, hey, you know, if it comes out of Adelaide, generally it's bloody good, you know?
No, I think it's always like going a little bit around over the years. I mean, there's sometimes you had a while in Brisbane a really good thrash metal scene. Then you have like in Melbourne, the scene was like Envenom, Demon Head. You have to put now when you put me on the spot and some bands.
That's okay. And insert band name here. That's right.
Yeah, exactly. Or then extreme bands now with Cunt Squad and stuff. They're a long time around, but they're from Melbourne and
because I find a lot of the doom stuff comes from Victoria and Melbourne. You know, all that sludgy doom seems to. I mean, it's cold down there, so maybe it's that. I don't know.
Possible, but you have good thrash bands there as well. So I don't know. It's hard to say, and I really didn't want to leave any band out or not to say anything wrong because I have in every city there are great bands in WA,
absolutely,
even Darwin, Alice Springs. I mean, there's really everywhere cool bands.
Yeah, even here in quiet Canberra, we're producing some good acts. You know, I mean, Witch Skull and things like that. We've got some good stuff bubbling away down here in the ACT. But so you arrived in Australia. You decided this is what I'm going to do. Was it something? How difficult was it to set everything up? Was it because of the language barrier? Did you find it very tricky?
Sometimes this is still tricky because, we Germans are known for our good humor and our way to talk or write. And I guess sometimes that people are easily, or not easily, but offended on the way, like how I write. Because I come across sometimes really direct because I didn't mean it this way, but...
No, but it's exactly right. I get it. Yeah.
Because I'm not taking it the long way, not like, hey, mate, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, can you do this for me or not?
Yeah, because you're German, and Germans are very efficient, right? It's an efficiency thing, yeah.
But sometimes I have to be, and I want to be more polite, and I think I am polite, and I'm hopefully a kind person, but I don't know, when I'm writing...
You are.
But when I'm writing, I'm coming across totally like, it is not me. If you meet me or you met me and we are on the phone, and you see my messages are really like, get it done or leave it, or leave me alone.
Yeah. I know the way you write. I'm used to it, right? But what I mean is, when you sat down and you went, right, this is it. I've got my computer in front of me. I'm going to make this. Did you? Was it a slow burn? Like, did you launch that website into the universe and suddenly you had lots of people looking at it, or did it take a little while? Or
it went actually then quite quick. Anya was writing the website. We had back in the day a handwritten website. Was actually, I miss it a bit because we've been the first really interactive website.
Right.
But sadly, I was not able to promote it the way like it was. But people who thought and understood saw the complex how you say it, the complexity. Exactly, behind the website. So there was like, when we have a review and let's say you reviewed the new Temptress album.
Yeah.
And we had the band profile from Temptress on the page as well. The review was straight away linked to the band profile. also if we had the upcoming show from Temptress in the gig guide, it was linked to the band profile with a flyer on the side. And if you'd done a gig review, it was of course linked as well. And if we had Temptress CD in the shop, what we did, it was linked to the shop as well. So in the end, you was finding like a spider web. This was really
brilliant.
And I got so much good feedback, especially from other music working people in the music industry.
Yeah.
But I never been able to get it across to the customer. Even after 4 years running the web scene, people like, why are you having this flyer on the site? And I say, like, you never clicked on it. When you scroll over, you have, like, the hand pops up and you can push it. Ah, okay, no, I didn't know. And then I'm like, Jesus, 4 years, and I was not able to get the message across that you can link everything, the artwork, to the shop. And
it's a shame. It means you have to simplify things, which is frank, because you have a vision and you have to make it a little more simple for people.
And money-wise, I got hacked a few years ago, but I try to not to keep it on the, how you say, I didn't post so much on Facebook and everything because I think like I can whinge and say like, oh God, I got hacked and attacked and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. The thing is like we cut the website down and we went with WordPress. And then I used the chance to rebrand the logo because a lot of people didn't like the old logo, the old kangaroo I had.
I loved it. But yeah.
Yeah, but I got too much feedback. And I can tell you the visitors since we changed and now with Andrew as an admin on board as well with doing the interviews, what you're doing sometimes as well, like the Tony Martin interview and stuff, has really went upwards again.
Oh no, I have to say, when I first joined the team, it felt like it felt like an underground kind of webzine, like only people knew it kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yep.
But since you did rebrand, it has a really swish. I like there's a weekly magazine that comes out, an online email that I get.
Yeah, the newsletter now.
The newsletter is really great. I read it every week. There's always something that I didn't know about. Like I didn't know that there was a new Burning Witches album. I'd missed that completely. It came in the newsletter. I was brilliant. I missed that. And there's always an interview on there, which is brilliant. So it makes it interactive. Feels like you're not just looking at a bit of paper, ticking a button, going, "Oh, I'll read that and move later on." You've got something to interact with as well, which is the video.
Yep. And also with the news, we have it on the site so people can see like the featured news. Then we have the Australian news.
Yeah.
And the international underground. So to give people an overview, and I love the little artwork graphic designs we have.
Oh, it's great.
Like the Roos news.
Yeah, it looks really swish. The reason I asked that question before is because there might be people out there listening who go, I'd like to try and do that, and what point is it where I go, how long do I hold in before I give up, because there would be people out there, this, that like the average podcaster gives it after 10 episodes, right? So you have to hold in. So like yourself, it would have taken time for you to go, which is the right, how long do I have to hold on, and how much effort do I need?
Over 10 years. Oh no, this year 10 years and I'm still holding on.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I'm still a hobby web scene, and I can tell you, I not have so much time anymore like years before because of the 2 kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But before I had the kids, I can tell you, I saw so many other people come and go in web scenes, or like, web scenes popping up, shutting down.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, my hobby, my life. I come from work, had a shower, and then I was sitting and updating band profiles, the gig guide, putting news on Metal Roos for hours until then Anya was saying like, at one point you need to sleep, you have to wake up soon to go to work. And I was like, just had this flame in me.
Yeah, we see the passion, and I think that comes across, for me, that comes across, when I talk to you, particularly, whether it's written or verbally, that passion comes across, and also comes across, I feel, in your webzine. I think when you look at it, it doesn't look like it's done. It's so professional looking. You could think it was done by some record label. It really does. It has that really nice modern crisp edge to it. I do like the old-fashioned one. I do sometimes miss it. But I'm like that. I sometimes look back and go, I used to like the way it looked. But then I look at them now, I go, yeah, this is really
Yeah, I liked what the old webzine did, and also I miss because we still haven't put up the new the band profiles.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, I was so proud of we had 850 band profiles on Metal Roos, just Australian bands.
Wow.
And I put every single band up myself, and I talked to every band and asked for permission if I can put them up. So I was in contact with each band.
Wow. And that's isn't that if you could go back in time and tell 16-year-old Michael that you would sit here and be talking to bands and having, touching industry in the way you touch it, you wouldn't believe it, would you? I know I wouldn't. If someone said to me, Tony, when I was 16, my first ever concert was Tony Martin with Black Sabbath. When I had the opportunity to interview him, from you who gave me the opportunity, it was like a life-changing thing for me. I was like, prick me, this can't be real,
Yep.
So I mean, if we could look back, both of us look back, we'd go, wow, look what we've done. And particularly yourself, you should be so proud of where you've come, particularly traveling all the way around the world, different language barriers, coming and seeing other websites come and go and still sticking in. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to keep, but I generally mean it. I think it's amazing. So you've got this great website with all these bands that you're dealing with, and it sounds to me like it's an ever evolving beast of a business sort of a thing. You moved from then on to, is it Black Roos? Is that where you moved to next?
First of all, back already 2014, we started the Metal United Down Under.
Oh, sorry, so I've skipped it. Metal United Down Under. So that we did mention that before. I just went somewhere else in my head. So what is Metal United Down Under?
Metal United Down Under is this Australian-wide event where we have in one night under the same banner all over Australia metal shows. So I'm just collecting or uniting. The idea is like we have anyway every Saturday a show in Canberra, in Melbourne, in Brisbane, in Sydney. And I was like, why not talking to the promoter and why not saying like, let's join the shows, putting the Metal United banner and make it one big night celebration of Australian talents. And we can reach way more because every promoter have friends in every state, city. And if he part of this event, he will reach automatically without doing any extra effort already friends for Brisbane. So it is a win-win for the whole scene, in my opinion.
It's a brilliant concept. I mean, I don't know why it hasn't been done before. I mean, it's almost like,
luckily.
How do I say it? It's about like Live Aid, but for metal, but with, you know what I mean? Like without all the, charity stuff. What I'm saying is like, it's like when you're connecting two hemispheres,
Yeah.
And I really like the idea. When I went to but the one I went to was a Flaming Wreckage one. I think was Flaming Wreckage.
Yeah, it was in Canberra.
Yeah, and I remember thinking, wow. I remember standing there thinking, right now in equivalent time zones, there's gigs going on, playing heavy metal music, all at the same time. Equivalent time zone, of course, being such a big country. And I thought that was really thrilling. I thought it was quite nice to be part of something. I also like the merch. I love the merch.
Yeah, but I still hope one day. I mean, there are grants out there, but like I said, I'm fighting on so many fronts, and I still have the dream that maybe one day we get a government grant and we can push this event to a next level. So next level, I mean, not changing the bands. I love to have like bands who done their first ever show at Metal United Down Under or their farewell show like we had last year. But just from the media awareness, and I, for myself, can't afford to put so much money in. I mean, I put already a lot of money in, but I never get reimbursed.
Yeah, it is an expensive. I mean, what people don't realize, as you would know, this promotion is not. People think, oh, I'm in promotion, I'm doing this, I'm making loads of money. That's not the case. It is a huge act across huge stadial tours, but when you're doing as much as you can only do as much as you can do. And I agree. Yeah, it'd be difficult to make it a little bit bigger because you need a little bit more funding. It's a bit of a sort of Ouroboros, isn't it? It's never ending wheel. More money, more shows, less money. And I suppose
not the
Also,
show,
COVID didn't help either. So.
but yeah, COVID anyway, definitely not. But like even team-wise and like making use of the technology, like for example, to get the atmosphere better together, that we are all doing it at the same time. I would love a live stream. I mean,
Oh, yes.
of course, to Perth we are 3 hours time difference, but still you can be like having the last band in Canberra, and you should be still seeing the first band in Perth. And like for example, the band goes on stage and waves to the camera, and you see it in Brisbane, in Canberra, in Sydney.
Oh,
I mean,
I love the idea of that.
I get goosebumps
Yeah,
when I think about.
I'm feeling all. Yeah, what a great idea, because you have the screens behind, sometimes of the bands, and they can have that live directly as well. Like, and it would be amazing. Come on, we need to make this happen, Michael. It has to be made happen. Right?
Yeah, or for the people who can't go, have it like online. I mean, there's so many technology, but the thing is, then you need a guy, I don't know, $500, $700 a night to film it in every city. Then you need a guy to coordinate it, to put it on the right platform in the time.
Yes,
And
you can digitize it, all that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
but I can say I put already like a nice family car in all Metal United Down Unders.
Wow.
I invest, and so at one point I still have to feed my family as well. So
No, and
I
that's
can't do any further.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Michael. I think, but it shows, though. I mean, it really shows that you do. One second, I'm just going to put the light on. My light's off. 1 minute, second. 1 second. Ah, this is better.
Yeah, I was thinking you start singing Bucket the Moon very
Because I
soon.
sat down, it was light.
Bucket the Moon.
Oh, that's it. Oh, just deaf.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, it shows, though, because it takes commitment. Money, particularly as the world gets tighter with all the money problems that's going on, it takes commitment to invest, particularly with your own money, and that is a sign of it. That's why I think you are as inspirational as you are, because I'm, like a lot of us, I'm really conservative when it comes to things in my back pocket and things like that. I'm a bit like, hey, it's my mortgage and blah, 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 and you get a bit scared. I always admire people that see beyond that, and you're one of those people.
Yeah, that's why I have pants with no pockets, so I'm easygoing.
If you want to donate, please donate to Michael. No, check it out. No. So when you first started the Metal Down Under,
Yeah.
how many venues were you? Was it every state straight away, or did you have to grow that?
Good question. In the first year, I think we had 6. I'm not sure if we had NT in the first year. I, to be honest, didn't do my homework now for preparation. Not good. But we definitely had, oh God, what was it in the first year? 90 bands, 91
Wow.
bands in, oh God, now you got me, 11, 12 shows.
Wow, because I mean NT, that'd be really interesting NT, because that's such. I mean, again, no, the listeners that don't know this country, that is a vast empty part of the country. It's huge. So to get a band to play, or find a band that's playing there, that's crazy.
Yeah, we have 2, 3 really good bands up there living there. So I had last year Metal United Down Under again in Darwin, but I would love to get one show in Alice Springs, to be honest, as well.
Be amazing.
There's a couple of bands. But no luck yet. But one day.
A nice outdoor one with a rock behind it in the distance.
Yep.
So that'd be really cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be quite nice.
Yeah. I suppose for you, the dream, I don't know, it'd be my dream. If I was running Metal United, every year I'd be like, which state will I be in this year? Oh, I'll go to Melbourne. Oh, I'll go to the NT. Oh, I'll go to,
I don't know. My dream is quite simple. Also, I have one dream who's a bit bigger. Like I want 20 cities one year.
Brilliant.
So my dream is really have 20 shows at 1 year. We've done already 16 at 1 year.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
But then it went a bit down, and now it's up and down.
How do you go about promoting it? Do you use the Metal Roos website? Is there a separate place that the listeners can go to find out information about it? Is it do I go to Metal Down Under? Is there a separate Facebook page? What do we do to?
Yeah, we created a new website for Metal United Down Under. We have social media. We do press releases, so all the Australian media getting a press release about the artwork, the date, the
Brilliant.
lineups, and then depends if they share it or not. And then always like the promoters in each town sharing it in their groups and inviting people. And yeah, we do what we can on a low budget.
Brilliant. I will put a link in the show notes to Metal Roos and to Metal United Down Under for the listeners to click on and have a look, because that'd be good for them to have a look and see exactly what it is. I think it might give them a little bit of a and if you're living in Australia, I highly recommend to go to it. And if you're on holiday over here at that time, also go to it. Because it does promote grassroots music. And they're big bands. So also, like I say, Flaming Wreckage. They're not a small band. They won the Triple J. They've got a couple of great albums. They're really nice guys. They're brilliant musicians.
We had Psychroptic playing one year.
Psychroptic even better. Like amazing, right?
We had Lagerstein playing. But for me, it's like I'm happy with every band so long they're Australian to play and be part of it. And of course, if we have Psychroptic, there's straight away more people. But I'm also totally happy to have a tiny pub show.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah. It's like Adelaide. There's a couple of Adelaide acts that I love out that way, and they would be great on those sort of hidden intent and
hidden intent. I think this is another thing, but I don't have the time. I want in a moment on the new website. I want to make a wall of history. Yeah. And I'm already starting downloading all the logos from bands who played the show. And then I want to put all the logos on a website.
Brilliant. So that's another thing. Brilliant. A little bit at least. So you're not only that, you're archiving as well, which is a really, a great thing.
But I need some help there because I have to post some stuff soon when I have time. Because I mentioned earlier that my websites got hacked and I lost off a lot of contents and things. And
that's so bad.
I have to, just actually not long ago, all my websites got hacked again.
I remember that. I do remember that. You were down for some time, yeah. So, you also got a YouTube channel, is that right?
Yes.
That's right.
YouTube.
So we can go in there and watch things. There's content on there for the listeners to watch.
Yeah, with Metal United Down Under is not so
Metal Roos only.
Yeah, Metal Roos is quite active. Black Roos is active, where we come hopefully soon to. But Metal United and my other event, Metal United Worldwide, I really hope one day I find some passionate metalhead who will be a bit like as a social admin.
So the worldwide one, explain that one. So we've obviously got the United Down Under, that's straightforward, that tells you the story. It's every city in Australia. The worldwide one, is it exactly the same, but just around the world? Do you have a limitation, or do you have a big picture?
There's no limitation. We just expanded from Down Under to worldwide.
Right, so you're just basically pushing out beyond the boundaries of the country, yeah?
On a big scale, yeah. We had shows from Mongolia over Syria to Kabul to, like I mentioned earlier, Venezuela, Paraguay.
Wow, Mongolia, that is crazy. One of the most uninhabited countries in the world, and you got a metal act in Mongolia. That's great.
We had a quite big show with like
Louboutin, yeah.
Was it 6 or 9 bands?
Okay.
Yeah, Ulaanbaatar was in the capital.
Yeah. Wow. Fantastic. And did they reach out to you for that?
No, I had to reach out, and still have every year to reach out to the people, especially with COVID destroyed the event dramatically, because the first event was taking place on the 5th of May 2018.
Oh.
And yes, it took me I can't really recoup or remember how long, but I would say nearly a year behind the scene to get it happening.
Wow.
And I ended up, after a lot of close to giving up and don't want anymore, to have, I think in the first year we had 41 or 42 countries on board with 66 shows and 442 bands.
Wow, Michael. Wow. That's stunning. That genuinely astounds me. I knew that it's crazy. Can you imagine if you think about that? So you say, how many? 442 pounds, yeah?
Yes.
And then you extrapolate that to say from 50 people in a crowd to 500 people in a crowd, that's a huge audience, all listening to what they love in that same period of time, that same time period. It's crazy.
Was all over the world. It's like the 5th of May. It was exactly on the same date. The only thing is, of course, in America, they've been like, I don't know, in New York, 14 hours behind or 12 hours. I had to look it up, but roughly. So, our show is over, we fall asleep, or we still having maybe the last beer, and then they start rocking on.
Wow, it's crazy. I wouldn't sleep. I would be like, I'd have toothpicks in the eyes trying to keep awake for the whole lot.
Yeah, there was really crazy shows taking part, like mentioned Mongolia, or we had like a show in Uzbekistan with just one band, really in some back room, carpet, drum on there.
Oh, love it.
And then we had what I actually missed a little bit, and I was not aware in the beginning that the promoter took such a big show on in Kosovo.
Mm.
They had an amphitheater and put a big show. They had this moving camera, and I don't know, easily 2,000 people there.
Wow.
And massive, with really screen in the background. And I watched afterwards a YouTube video, and I was like, my chin dropped, and I'm like,
yeah,
buddy, why you didn't tell me you had such a huge show? You said, like, yeah, I'm putting on a show, blah, blah, blah. But he was really similar like me, like really downsizing it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries, be part. And then I was like, I feel like an idiot that I missed it a bit. So I was like, oh my goodness.
But that many bands, my friend, I mean, it's a hard one to do. And of course, across every single genre and subgenre of the music we listen to, there's so much,
And also every language. We had really bands playing in Spanish, in their native tongue and stuff, what I think is quite amazing too.
I love that. I have to say that one of my loves when I go and look through the review lists is I'd like to find bands that aren't anglicizing themselves. And, like Udo did his album is in English and in German. And I much prefer the German one, to be honest with you, because the passion, because the passion was there in the German, because that's his native language. He can emote, whereas the English language, he's trying to work out the emotion for the word that's not his natural language.
Yeah.
And I like the German one much more.
Yeah, I have some bands like when I listen to it in Spanish, and I was like, sounds quite cool. Even if I understand nothing, I'm happy to speak finally 2 languages, but this is all you can get out of me. But
yeah. I can speak one and one not that well, and that's this one.
Nah, you're doing all right, mate.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Good Englishman. Now, so we've got that, and then we also have Black Roos, don't we?
Yes.
So what is Black Roos?
Black Roos started 2017 after I lost my job on a construction site. I went into TAFE, done music business diploma or whatever that's called, and then I wrote a business plan and started up in October 2017 Black Roos Entertainment as a music booking, promotion, and management agency. And running since then.
Going strong?
Went quite strong in the beginning, then of course COVID totally down, and I was like releasing every band from my roster, because why having them on a roster if they can't play? And I'm like, you know me, I feel bad to charge people if I not do anything for them.
Yeah. And it's interesting, isn't it? Because we all know people touched by the naughty C word, right? We all know people that, where they've lost jobs and we've all thought very strongly about, about the way that the music industry was sort of left behind, and the entertainment industry in general was left behind by the COVID wake. But it's not until we talk to someone like yourself who literally his life changed because of it, because you had to let go of acts. You didn't have to hope to God you can scramble some back once the thing finishes,
Yeah, I mean, you have to see, like for me, as doing the underground stuff anyway, so I'm not earning much money, and then losing all the bands. Then also I prepared everything for Metal United Down Under, want to make it a big year. I bought a lot of T-shirts,
Yeah.
and then we not even had the show. So
Oh.
first time in few years, I had the money to invest to T-shirts, to want to rebrand everything, make it bigger, and then COVID hit, and I was like, yay, having now 300-400 T-shirts at home, no shows, no customers. Nobody wants to do really PR. I mean, there was coming some bands in the time who said like, okay, screw it, we release our EP or album anyway. But it went quite downstream. And then with Metal United Worldwide, what we just talked, I had, after the 42 in the first year, I had around 40, I think 39 shows in the second year. And we had roughly 60 countries already listed, 60 countries for the next version, and then COVID and bang.
Oh, damn.
60 countries. I had shows happening in the Maldives, in India, in Nepal. I was like, oh my goodness, everybody was really on a roll, and everybody was on a hype of this underground festival, and then bang. And then now after COVID, I had it last year, the first time, and you really feel the motivation was down, like, yeah, we're doing a show, yeah, we part, but the flame was really on
low. Yeah.
But even by myself, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I think all of us felt that way. I know we all had annus horribilis, but I think it will come back, Mike. I think generally, I feel that there is a lift. I was back in the UK a couple of weeks ago. You went to Germany not long ago yourself,
Yeah.
and you go back there and it's pumping, Mike. It's absolutely pumping. And I mean, I was shocked by the amount of activity going on, and so it will just be a case of once those centres, I think, are really comfortable, it will spread back out.
Yeah, but you have also to see still the downside. I mean, it looks always like this is very active and buzzing, but there's still so much cancellation. So many tours are still cancelled, and this is a lot of money and time. I mean, I can tell you, during COVID, I had a few tours already fully set up with artwork and everything, and then you have to reschedule 10 dates. And then imagine like a big agency in Europe who does like 4 or 5 of the big bands. I mean, no wonder that they're all getting busted and nobody wants to put on shows anymore or is afraid to put on shows.
Yeah, and I suppose the bigger acts as well, like Maiden cancelled here. For well they're not going to come back the following year because they've written their roster 3 years in advance. They know where they are 3 years' time. So they're going to go, well, too late, can't get you in, that's done, I think that's probably with the big acts particularly, It's probably happening a lot as well. But to you, what, on a nicer note, on a more positive note, let's be more positive.
Okay.
What out of the 3 arms that you have, your Metal Roos, Down Under and Worldwide and Black Roos, what do you feel the most accomplishment with? I'll put you on the spot now.
Good question. I'm quite proud of everything because everything is a bit different and pulling it all off in a not similar time, but next to each other and still keeping, hopefully, a quality level or a certain level of quality. Yeah, I think.
Nice answer, because that's what I was expecting you to say.
But one thing, of course, where I'm personally a little bit proud of or outstanding is Metal United Worldwide, to be honest.
I'm glad you said that as well, because I think that's something that shows passion and ambition, I think that's what will get you over that finishing line with the 100 countries, because you have passion and commitment.
Yeah, and like before we mentioned, I mean, there was like the same with Metal Roos. I was listening last night to refresh my memories of all the stuff I'd done or talked to people. So there was the same, like when I said with the Metal Roos fan club, I failed there, but I didn't give up and say, okay, now it's a web scene. And actually Metal United Down Under, I forgot to mention earlier, I wanted to put on a show with Metal Roos, and I was actually first thinking of putting a watch show on. And then the idea turned around and developed to Metal United Down Under.
So it's wonderful how these things become fluid, isn't it? It's all like any creative aspect, and what you do is creative. Things are fluid, aren't they? You know, just move and grow and go in different, unsurprising and surprising directions.
Yeah, and the thing is, what's important is not to give up. I mean, like I said, I failed with a fan club. I mean, if I was giving up like I wanted to, but then Anya was kicking my bum and say like, no, you keep going, and it's a cool idea and stuff. And the same with Metal United worldwide. I remember I had this idea and I was like, yeah, come on, Metal United Down Under is running so cool already, so worldwide people must love it and just jumping on like bang, 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 easy, but totally not. I remember to get the first show happening, I talked to like, I don't know, so many people in Canada because I wanted to start like in Canada and then work my way on a world map.
Brilliant Canadian bands.
Yeah, but I didn't get anything happening. Then also, I have a good friend where I knew he would put on a show, where I was thinking he would put on a show in a different country. I hit him up and he said like, no, I don't do it. And I'm like, what? So it was like from I running into it with like full power and I run just against a brick wall and I'm like, wow, nobody likes this idea. What's wrong? And then, yeah, Mongolia was actually the first country after Australia, of course, who jumped on it. And yeah, after a few weeks, I had just 11 countries on board. Nobody believed. I got just rejected. Like, no, nah. Oh, no, we don't take part. Oh, we are busy. Oh, we have so much going on. And I'm like, just change your name or we can join the show. So why not? But no, nobody wanted. And then with 11 shows, I talked to one big touring agency in Germany. And he said, like, Jesus Christ, 11 countries. What an amazing achievement. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, see, Michael?
And I was like, no. And I had actually a meeting with the Wacken founders. They liked the idea.
Wow.
So I went to Wacken and met Holger Hübner.
Wow.
And we talked and he like, amazing idea. And yeah, we help you and blah, blah, blah. What they actually ended up not doing, sadly. But a different story by a different beer.
For a different podcast. No, look, the thing is, what it says to me is that, again, like I said, it's perseverance. You know what I mean? I would be stoked if I had 11 countries. I'd be like, wait, it's 11 countries, man. It's 11 cultures, 11 languages. That's crazy.
No, I wanted to stop it and say like, no, then if nobody likes it, then I give up.
It's because you have high hopes, Michael. You've got a big picture plan, you know, and you want to be that big. You've got that picture.
Yeah.
You've written it and you've got it and you want to get it, and that's admirable. That's admirable, but it's also admirable that you held in, that you carried on. Because I know you would have gone. Support. I can't let. I know you because you would have gone. I can't let those 11 bands down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna go. I've got 11 now. It doesn't matter. I can't let them down. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just think you're, brilliant. So, where have you? I mean, we're about to sort of wrap the show up in a minute, but where do you feel you'll go from here? Have you got any sort of things in the pipeline that you're really excited about? You don't have to tell us, obviously, because you're still working on them. But have you got anything you're planning on?
Yeah. Also, one thing, of course, still growing all the projects I'm doing, keeping the bands happy on the Black Roos Entertainment roster. Like, hopefully, I always hope that they're doing a good job and they are happy to be part of the journey we're giving them, or I say Black Roos family. Or I like to call it sometimes the Roos crew. We are the Roos crew, you know, from Motorhead. We are the road crew.
Good one, I like it.
So, yeah, I think we have it on the website, actually. I think I put over the team Roos crew.
Nice, I like it.
And yeah, I always wanted to actually draw Lemmy Killmaster as a big red kangaroo as well for our team.
You know what? That would be bloody amazing. I can imagine him rippling through his leather jacket.
If I have some money for the artwork, I will do it one day.
Why not? Absolutely. We should do a GoFundMe. We'll get it fixed.
Yeah, and then hopefully getting Metal United Down Under and worldwide back up running and growing. And otherwise, I'm working on some little bits and pieces to develop Metal Roos and I have two ambitious ideas. I'm working already years behind the scene, but on a very, yeah, not putting much effort in the moment.
Yeah, down low kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
But if I get the right team together, both projects are again biggerish.
Nice, nice. Well, I look forward to. I think we all will look forward to seeing the way that the Metal Roos family grows, where the Metal Roos down under and worldwide um, gets bigger and bigger. I think we're all of us are really behind you. I know that I am, and I know that all the people that volunteer and help with you and help with us are all 100% behind it. So I think that will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I generally think that will also give it a little bit more difference, because it's not just someone telling them doing something for a job, walking away, and the people that do it love doing it. I know what I do.
No, I think with all the pages or every project I run, I try not to annoy people, but I think I'm quite open and everybody can join. And if you want to be more involved, I'm always happy, like catch up, have a phone chat. If you want just to write reviews and be left alone, I accept this. So, but I'm always think of a little bit of a community family vibe, what I want to achieve. That is not like just a web scene. We're pumping out content and we're having 10 writers writing stuff. No, I want that we are buddies. And for example, I would love that, for example, you catch up with Steve or whoever, another writer in a different city one day and say like, hey, I'm writing so long now, finally we met on a concert, and
yeah, I do.
Happy days.
That's a thing that I think also when you look at it, and I will encourage everyone. I have in the past already said go to your page and read, but I encourage people to go and read the reviews that are there, because they're, and I'm going to say this without sounding I don't know, sound gushing or stupid, but I would say that 99% of them, and I mean it genuinely, are beautifully written. And because I read them all that come through, and honestly, there were times where I go, gosh, I did literally not think of that record or that song or that album in that way before, and it opened my eyes more, because it's a lot of it's so. We've got such a good writing team. I mean that, Mike. I think our writing team is fantastic, and some of the stuff that comes through there, you would expect that on like Kerrang or Metal Hammer, or it's really good quality stuff. And I recommend everyone to go and review before you go and listen to a certain album. If it's been reviewed on that site, I'd tell you that that's the way to do it. I really do.
Sounds good, thank you.
No, I mean it. Generally, I'm trying. It's just something that's really opened for me. I don't want to just bring back to me for a second, but it changed my life, Michael. I had a life-changing accident, and I had to change the way my life was working, and I'd gone from being, a gifted athlete to not being able to be athletic ever again, really, and sort of, I then pursued my passion in music, which I've always had since both of you and I, since we were boys. Yep. And when that opportunity came about, I thought, I'm going to take it. And and that's why I say everyone can do it. You, me, everyone out there can give it a go. It's just something that I'm so thankful for.
I have to say, even, for example, I'm not a writer at all, so I tried once in my life an album review, and I totally struggled, and it's not my world. I appreciate everybody who can do it, and I love to reading it, but I, to be honest, can't. But I think it's good that we have different qualities. I love, like, then putting up gigs or other things behind the scenes, like, the research and stuff. But like joining the team, there's so many stuff available or positions. I mean, if you want to be part of Metal Roos, you can, like, if you love Spotify, you can just run our Spotify playlist. I mean, we have this 3 awesome playlists, like Metal Titans, Heavy Down Under, and Brilliant. Rising of the Gods.
So brilliant. So if everyone does want to reach out, because the writers that write for us is voluntary, but you do get the opportunity to open and expand your mind in such a way musically. You get to listen to stuff that pre-release, so you get to really enjoy it and then express your passion for it. What's the best way to do? Is it the best way just to contact you at the page?
Yes, send an email or something, or hit me up on Facebook. I'm very open and flexible. Just
Right.
don't knock on my door at night.
Yes.
Unless you bring beer, then maybe we can talk about
that's
it.
right. Maybe some nice Belgian beers. So I think so. Out there, if you're listening out there, and this is all around the world, this doesn't mean just Australia. All around the world, we have writers in the UK and all over the place. Please do reach out if you feel like you'd like to join the team. As I said at the beginning of the show, I can't keep up with the amount of reviews that can come through, the amount of bands and genres and releases. There's so much.
And even with news or something, if you want to be a news writer or articles, I mean, there's so many options. It's not just need album reviews. I mean,
and live reviews.
Live reviews, but live reviews we keep in the moment just Australia. Otherwise, it's getting.
Of course, no, yeah, I get you. Sorry, yeah.
But otherwise, we need people like I would dream of, for example, having every state one guy who's looking after the local gig guide. So we had like a quite comprehensive gig guide with all the local shows. But I tried it myself and I can't keep up. So,
no, exactly. You could delegate these things.
So if you're not a writer, but you want to be part of a team and you want to help to grow the scene, I think this is a nice part as well.
Yeah. So reach out. I mean, just reach out. Even if you're not sure what you can do, Michael will always offer you something, a role that might suit you. So just email. As I said, the link will be below for the Facebook page and the website. So just reach out to Michael and see what like I did. I just reached out and he said, "Yeah, come and do this." And you know, the sky's the limit, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and even if you have a new idea, I'm always open. And if it's not work or if it's too complicated, say, "Oh, let's think about it, and maybe we implement it or whatever that's called later."
Implement.
Thanks. You see, no English here.
Oh, I love your accent. It's all good. It's all good. Okay, so we're coming to the end now, guys. Thank you for the chat, Michael. It's been a real pleasure. Cheers.
No, thanks for having me.
It's been a long time coming. I sort of just been getting used to doing interviews now through Skype because I'm getting used to the technologies, you see. So
I'm over time. Like have a beer, and it doesn't matter if I sound like an idiot. I mean,
you don't.
I think not many people are keen to hear what I have to say, but anyway.
I think they are, Mike, and they genuinely will be. I'm looking forward to the responses you're going to get. So anyway, that's me for this week. Thanks, Mike.
Yes, thanks for having me. Cheers.
Bye, mate. That was Michael Lueders from Metal Roos, Black Roos, Metal United, Metal United Down Under, and Metal United Worldwide. Thanks for listening. I hope you had a good time with him. I love chatting to Mike, always have done. The internet obviously is the internet, so sound isn't always the best when you're doing these things through Skype, but hey, you know, it is what it is. There were so many things I would like to have asked him, so many things that we discussed afterwards once we press record, which is always the way. We go, oh bugger, we should have mentioned that. Anyway, that might have to do a part 2 maybe later in the year. I think he's heading off, he said, to Hellfest. So when he gets back from Hellfest, we might chat to him about that and what happened over there, which would be really interesting. So I'm bloody jealous, to be honest with you, as always. I mean, one of my dreams is to go to Varken and Hellfest, both of them in the same year, and download in the UK. The dream. Anyway, living the dream. Again, that's me for this week. Hope you enjoyed that. Wonderful interview, candid that it was, ups and downs, me interrupting as I do. I am not a professional interviewer, you know that. Do my best. Anyway, talk to you soon, guys. Bye for now.